Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Okay, this question was asked in 2016. It is a 12.5 mark question. The question is comment on the challenges for the inclusive growth, which include careless and useless manpower in the Indian context. Suggest the measures to be taken for facing these challenges. So, okay. First thing, the question is about command. So, when it comes to command means you have to speak about yes or no type question. In simple minds, it is a yes or means. Comments on the challenges for the inclusive growth, which includes carelessness and useless manpower in the Indian context. So, they say that there are certain challenges for the inclusive growth, which includes both careless and useless manpower in the Indian context. Which means, when it comes to the India's context, we are speaking for the inclusive growth. In that scenario, we have certain challenges called as challenges based on the careless and useless manpower that is affecting the inclusive growth in the India. You have to say yes or no, but in reality you have to accept it, because India is facing the issues related to the inclusive growth is due to this careless and the useless manpower. That is the reality. But you can say that no, it is not only about the careless and useless manpower, but also the issues with the government. In such a way also you can give the answer. It's up to you. So there is a two possibility of the answer. First thing is the challenges for the inclusive growth is careless and useless manpower. You can say that yes, the careless and useless manpower is lead to the issues related to the inclusive growth. India is not facing certain inclusive growth due to the issues of this careless and useless manpower. By the way, there is the economic slowdown and India is still in the developing economy, not a developed country. And also our per capita income is very low. At the same time, there are major people are rest with the informal sectors. There are still disguised unemployment. There is still frictional unemployment. There are still structural unemployment. So these are the things based on which I am saying that inclusive growth facing the challenges due to this careless and useless manpower. In such a way you can say that, or else you can say in a different manner. No, the challenges for the inclusive growth is not only about the careless and useless manpower, but at the same time issues with the certain government institutions, private players. So this is also you can say that. For example, when it comes to the government institution means you can say that there is a huge delay in approving certain companies or the investment proposals. There is a delay in the approval or the certification for certain companies. So that is the reason leads to the unemployment. That is the reason that leads to the issues with the growth of the country that led to the delay in the inclusive growth. This you can quote about the ease of doing business. In that things they said that there is a huge delay in the registration of the company, getting electricity supply, getting water supply, or else clearing from the labor board. So there is a major delay. So that is the issue leads to the slowdown in the economy. That is the issues leads to the backlog in the achieving the inclusive growth in India. In that way also you can say that, because it is a command type question. Either you can agree with the statement and you can say yes and you have to justify it, or else you can say that no, it is not only about this manpower, but it's the issue with the government and the private institutions. Private institutions are having a monopoly and they are adapting to the automation. They are not ready to skill up the people. They are focusing on accumulation of wealth. That is the reasons for the delay in achieving the inclusive growth in India. This is also the answer. So it is up to you to decide what is your answer. There are two ways of answer when it comes to the command type question. And also you have to justify it. Afterwards, you have to give the measures to overcome these challenges. So this is the way you have to address the question. When it comes to command means you have a n number of possibilities. Either you can say yes or else you can say no. But anyway, you have to give certain justification. If there is a acceptable justification, means that answer is right. Okay, so let's discuss that. First, for example, consider that I am going to agree with this statement. I am going with the yes, which means in your answer you shouldn't write anything like yes or no. Your answer should convey that challenges for the inclusive growth in India is due to this careless and useless manpower. In such a way, you have to make a statement and then you have to give the answer. So, for example, you can say that, for example, careless manpower. In careless manpower, you can say about the issues related to the social securities. Still, most of the people are not having the life insurance or accidental insurance. So these are the things, which means they are careless manpower. If they are considered that they are the breadwinner of the family, if they face any loss, if there is any human loss happen to them, means their family will be end up in the below poverty line. The reason is they don't have any social security. So that is called as careless manpower. So now their family is getting into the below poverty line. So that is lead to the fall of the inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means everyone will be in the growing phase. But due to the lack of social security, their family will be pushed into the below poverty line. So that is called as careless manpower. Or else you can say about the pensions. Still, there is a lack of insurance penetrations and also there is a lack of savings ideology. So people are not ready to savings. They are consuming more than they are investing anything in their growth. For example, there is a lack of investments for the future. There is a lack of spending on the social capitals. Social capitals means health, education, skill. They are not ready to spend on that. So all these things are called as careless manpower. So these are the answers you have to give to justify that there is a careless manpower. So there is a low insurance penetrations. They are not ready to save money. They are not ready to invest their money. They are not ready to spend their money on their human capital. This is the way you have to say that India having the careless manpower. And then next is useless manpower. You can say that disguised unemployment. In agriculture sector, which means more laborers are working in the same region. So that is called as disguised unemployment, which means they are useless manpower. And also there is a frictional unemployment is there, structural unemployment is there. So all these things are related to the useless manpower. There is a open employment, unemployment is there, which means they are not ready to getting into any jobs. And also due to lack of skills, many of the youth are not have the quality of employability. You have to know that India is in the demographic dividend phase, which means India have the huge young generation population, huge working population, but that huge working population lacks skills, that huge working population lacks health, that huge working population lacks education. So these are the major issues for India. So that is called as useless manpower. So you are saying that yes, the challenges for the inclusive growth is careless and the useless manpower. This is the way you justified your answer. Okay, then you have to give the suggestions. Suggest the measures to be taken for facing these challenges. So you have to speak about the Skill India, Stand Up India, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So Jan Dhan Yojana is related to saving the money, increasing the credit penetrations, increasing the savings penetrations, increasing the deposit penetrations. So you can say about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and then you can speak about India's ties with Israel related to the skill development for the India's youth. So these are the certain things you can say. So this is the way you have to answer this question. Next, if you are saying that no, the challenges for the inclusive growth is not only about the careless and useless manpower, but also it is related to the government, lack in the government action. Government interaction with the people is low, or else the private have the dominant role and they are trying to be monopoly. Accumulation of wealth. When it comes to government, they are not focusing on the welfare of the people or the inclusive growth. That is also the thing. There is the delay in approving certain projects. You can quote about the ease of doing business index. Currently there is no such thing. World Bank released it earlier, but now they stopped it. But India is following that based on this. Niti Aayog is releasing it based on certain data of that World Bank data. They are now using that parallel manner. They are releasing certain things about ease of doing business for the every states. You can quote that. So there is a issues with the government, private player, or the household sectors. So that leads to the issue of the inclusive growth in this India. This is also your answer. You can say that. And also you have to suggest certain measures to facing these challenges. So it's up to you to accept anything, because it's a command type question. So either you can say yes or else you can say no. But the answer should have certain justification for it. If it is not, means it is not a good answer. You won't get any extra mark or any possible marks. You cannot fetch it. So you can adapt anything, either yes or no, but you have to give certain justification for it. That is the most important thing. Okay. Thank you.